Here's my $20 grocery haul to make 3 dinners from Dollar Tree. A box of macaroni pasta, a bag of dried kidney beans, a box of chicken rice-a-roni, hot smoked sausage, bacon, frozen seasoning blend, pasta sauce, Parmesan cheese, no bean chili, diced tomatoes, Rotel, Velveeta cheese sauce, Creole seasoning, and biscuit mixes for sides. I've included Walmart prices for comparison, but Walmart doesn't always have a small package size or a store brand available, so it came out to $27.61 for the same shopping list. You get more ingredients, but you pay more money, so to me, it's a wash. I had a $20 budget to make 3 dinners that will feed 4 people each, and the first dinner I made was pasta e fagioli with a side of cheese and garlic biscuits. This is a rich and hearty soup with tender beans, macaroni pasta, and a hint of smoky bacon, and you guys already know that these cheddar biscuits are one of my favorites. I am using dry beans because they're an overall better value than the canned beans. 1 pound of dry beans equates to about 4 cans. These beans have already been sorted and soaked overnight, as I showed in my How to Cook Dry Beans video. You can season them with salt, but I opted to season them with vegetable bouillon powder. In my How to Cook Dry Beans video, I showed a slow cooker method, but if you want to make them on the stovetop, it's just as easy. You would just bring it up to a boil, reduce your heat to low, and simmer until your beans are tender. For me, that was about an hour. No matter which method you choose, especially when it comes to kidney beans, you do want to make sure that your beans come up to a boiling point and boil for at least 10 minutes. Now to get started on the actual soup, finely chop 2 slices of bacon. In a pot over medium-high heat, add in your bacon and cook it until crisp, then remove it to a plate or bowl and set aside. Leave the drippings in the pot and then add in 1 cup of your frozen vegetable seasoning blend. Sauté this for around 2 to 3 minutes until the excess liquid has evaporated off. To this, add 1 can or jar of your favorite pasta sauce, 2 cups of water, your drained and rinsed kidney beans, and a half a cup of macaroni pasta. Bring this mixture up to a boil, cover and simmer for 10 minutes. While your soup is simmering, you can prepare your biscuits. I'm using cheese and garlic biscuit mix, and previously the package on this said just add water, but they've recently rebranded it to say just add milk. I wanted to check and see if the formula had changed that much, so I just made it the way that I usually do, which was adding half a cup of water. I made 4 rather large biscuits on a parchment-lined baking sheet and baked them at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. The last step is to add your bacon back into your soup after it has simmered, and then this is ready to serve. If desired, you can top your soup with Parmesan cheese, which I did already include in the budget. This is such a hearty and delicious soup that comes together very quickly and is such a warm addition, especially on cold winter nights. And I do think that they changed the recipe on the biscuits because they're not quite as garlicky as they used to be, which is sad, but they're still delicious and you can definitely add more seasonings to them, and the same goes for the soup. You can adjust it however you want to taste. Part 2, we're making this sausage and rice skillet. I just love how colorful this turned out. This dish has a nice smoky flavor from the smoked sausage, and the tomatoes give it a nice fresh balance. You'll need smoked sausage. You can use hot or regular depending on your spice preference, the remainder of our bag of frozen seasoning blend, a container or can of kidney beans, a box of chicken rice-a-roni, a can of diced tomatoes, and optionally some Creole seasoning for topping. This meal comes together so easy. The only prep work you have to do is slice your sausage. You can either choose to cut it on the diagonal or finely dice it. In a skillet on medium-high heat, heat up 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and add in the rest of your bag of frozen seasoning blend. Sauté this for 2 to 3 minutes until the excess liquid has evaporated off, and then add in your smoked sausage. Continue to sauté this for a couple of minutes more to get a little bit of color on your sausage, and then add in your box of chicken rice-a-roni along with half of the packet of seasoning mix that comes with it. I only used half the packet because both the sausage and the Creole seasoning are quite salty, and we don't want this dish to be overly salty in the end. To this I added 2 cups of water, my can of rinsed and drained tomatoes, and my rinsed and drained kidney beans. If desired at this point, you can add some Creole seasoning or Cajun seasoning, but I would wait until it's done cooking so you can check the salt level. Bring this mixture up to a boil, reduce your heat to low, cover and simmer for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, turn off the heat and allow it to sit undisturbed for an additional 15 minutes. This will allow the residual heat to finish cooking the rice by steaming it. Then this sausage and rice skillet is ready to serve. If desired, you can sprinkle some more Creole or Cajun seasoning over the top. I had it for dinner and then portioned the rest of it into meal prep containers to eat for lunches. And if you wanted to double the portions, just grab a second box of rice-a-roni. I did have 4 containers of kidney beans, and so far I've only used 2 of them, so I could have added a second container of that as well. Part 3, we are making this cheesy chili mac. These portions were actually quite large, especially for a pasta dish, and I even made biscuits on the side, so even though I intended this to feed 4 people, I think honestly it could have fed 6. You'll need macaroni, a can of chili, I'm using the no bean because it has more meat and I can add my own beans to it, a can of Rotel, kidney beans, and Velveeta cheese sauce. This may be one of the easiest meals I have shown on this channel. In a pot, add 2 cups of macaroni and 4 cups of water, bring this up to a boil, reduce your heat to low, cover and simmer for 12 minutes. During that 12 minutes, stop and stir a couple of times just to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom, but at the end of it, most of the water should have been absorbed into the pasta. If at the end there is too much liquid in your pot, you can drain all but a half a cup or so. Then from there, dump in the rest of your ingredients. A can of Rotel tomatoes undrained, your can of chili, your rinsed and drained kidney beans, and your packet of Velveeta cheese sauce. Stir everything to combine and continue to heat over medium heat until everything is heated through and the cheese is melted. I also made a packet of these home-style biscuits by mixing the contents of the package with half a cup of water, dolloping it onto a parchment-lined baking sheet, and baking it at 400 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes until golden brown. This was such a simple and delicious comfort meal, and the portions are very generous. The only thing I would do differently next time is to make it a little more cheesy. And I could do that 2 ways, either by cutting back on the pasta since the portions are so large, or by adding a second pack of Velveeta cheese sauce. So you decide.